Hi guys, I hope you all have your snack. So yesterday we read about Dink, Ruth Rose, and Josh, and they're going to where do you think they're going? Squall Island. So we've found out so far that they've packed a picnic and they have gone to this island and they found, I hope you can remember, something green sticking out of the sand, and Ruth Rose said it was money. So let's see what we can find out today. Chapter 2. A $10 bill, Josh said, grabbing the bill and holding it up. Wrong, Dink said, plucking it out of Josh's fingers. Count the zeros. Josh's mouth fell open. Ruth Rose's blue eyes got big. Dink was holding $100 bill. $100, Josh squeaked. He reached for the bill, but Dink quickly handed the money to Ruth Rose. She found it, he said. But who lost it? Ruth Rose asked, shoving the bill into a pocket. Dink pointed to the footprints in the sand. Maybe he did. The kids stared at the footprints. Maybe he lost more, Josh said. Let's search. The kids separated. With their eyes on the ground, they climbed over boulders and peeked under bushes. They found plenty of poison ivy, but no more $100 bills. Hey guys, look at this, Dink called from near the water's edge. Josh and Ruth Rose ran to where he was standing. Dink pointed to a long patch of sand that was perfectly smooth. It looked as if someone had scraped a board over the sand, flattening all the little bumps. I'll bet somebody came out here with a rowboat, Ruth Rose said. This must be where they dragged it up on the beach. I wonder if the same person who brought the boat made those footprints, Dink said, pulling his t-shirt back on. And dropped that $100 bill, said Josh. Ruth Rose patted her pocket. I don't know, but we have to try to find him. Why? Josh said, grinning. Think of what we could buy with that money. Split it 3 ways, of course. Forget it, Josh, Ruth Rose said. The money isn't ours. We have to return it. To who? To whoever lost it, Dink said. And how are we supposed to find the guy? Josh asked. The kids sat in the sand and thought. I know, Ruth Rose said. We can go to Ron's bait shop. Maybe Mr. P knows who was out here. Good idea, Dink said. Boy, said Josh, getting to his feet, you guys sure want to get rid of that money fast. How would you feel if you lost $100 bill? Ruth Rose asked. He grinned. Trust me, if I ever got one, I'd never lose it. Anyway, let's eat the watermelon my mom packed. Those cookies made my mouth dry. They walked back to Josh's pack and slurped on sweet, juicy chunks of watermelon. They spit the seeds at each other as they packed up. Josh shrugged into his backpack. Well, if we have to return the money, maybe we'll get our names in the paper, he said. He scratched his ankles. Maybe we'll get a reward. Ruth Rose giggled. Josh, the only thing you're going to get is poison ivy. Chapter 3. The kids waded back into the river. A few minutes later, they were squishing their way up River Road to Ron's bait shop. Ron Pinkowski lived in an old house next to the river. On the ground floor, he sold bait, boating supplies, and groceries. He also repaired and painted boats and fixed boat motors. The kids trudged down a dusty driveway to the house. Several small boats were lined up in Mr. Pinkowski's big yard along the riverbank. A striped cat slept on the back step. Out the back door trailed a long orange extension cord. The kids followed the cord around the side of the house. They spotted Mr. Pinkowski under a shady tree, sanding a boat bottom. Hi, Mr. P, Dink said. Ron Pinkowski switched off the electric sander. He was tall and sandy-haired and sported a curly beard and droopy mustache. Well, hi, kids. What are you up to today? He asked, smiling. Ruth Rose pulled the $100 bill out of her pocket. I just found this on Squall Island, she said. Goodness, Ron said. Aren't you a lucky gal? We saw some marks in the sand from a boat, Dink said, and some footprints, too, Josh added. Really big ones. We think whoever was out there might have lost the money, Ruth Rose said. Wonder who it could have been. Ron leaned against the boat and tugged on his beard. Not many folks go out there. The poison ivy grows something fierce in all that sound. Yeah, and I think I walked right through some, Josh said, scratching his legs. Ron smiled. All I have to do is look at the step, and I swell up like a balloon, he said. Could we leave a note here about the money? Ruth Rose asked. Good idea, Ruth Rose. I'll stick it up near my bait tanks. The kids followed Ron into his bait shop, where he handed Ruth Rose a pencil and a pad. She thought for a minute, then wrote, If you lost money on Squall Island, call 555-9916. Shouldn't you say how much you found? Josh asked. Ruth Rose shook her head. If I write the amount, anyone could call and claim it, even if they didn't lose it. Ron tacked Ruth Rose's note to a small bulletin board. Lots of people will see it here, he said. Thanks, Mr. P, Ruth Rose said. I hope whoever lost the money sees the note. Ron grinned. Wish it was me. The kids laughed. They said goodbye and headed for Duck Walkway. So what are you going to do with the money? Josh asked Ruth Rose. I'll be glad to hold on to it for you. Ruth Rose shook her head. Nope, I'm giving it to Officer Fallon. It'll be safe at the police station. Josh scratched his arm. Let's stop at Ellie's on the way. Maybe an ice cream cone will help me forget about this lousy poison ivy. The kids crossed the elementary school's wide lawn and hiked down Main Street. As they opened the door to Ellie's diner, cool air washed over them. After they ordered cones, Ruth Rose asked Ellie if she knew anyone who had lost money on Squall Island. Someone with really huge feet, Dink added. Ellie shook her head. I don't even know anyone who goes out there. I hear it's covered with poison ivy. She noticed Josh scratching. Looks like someone else is covered with the stuff. The kids thanked Ellie and left. They worked on their cones on the way to the police station. I can't believe we're gonna just give away $100, Josh said. If I get a reward, Ruth Rose said, I'll split it with you guys. Josh grinned. Now you're talking. They found Officer Fallon sitting at his desk. He was watching his computer screen and sipping a glass of lemonade. Howdy, he said as the kids trooped in. What can I do for you? Look at this, Ruth Rose said. She placed the $100 bill on his desk. Officer Fallon picked up the bill and examined it. Where'd this come from? He asked. Ruth Rose found it on Squall Island, Josh told him. We were out there having a picnic and it was in the sand. I'm trying to find out who lost it. Ruth Rose said, Mr. Pinkowski let me put a note on his bulletin board. I left my phone number. This bill could have been lost a long time ago, Officer Fallon said. Not many folks go to Squall Island. He grinned at Ruth Rose. If no one claims it, the money is yours to keep. Really? Ruth Rose said. Cool. Officer Fallon put the bill in an envelope and sealed it. He wrote the date and Ruth Rose's name on the outside. I'll put this in our safe, he said. If it's still here in 30 days, I'll let you know. The kids thanked Officer Fallon and left. Gee, Ruth Rose, Josh said as they waited for the light on Main Street. Will you split the 103 ways if you get to keep it? I might, she said, if you're extra nice to me. I'm always nice to you. Dink whispered something in Ruth Rose's ear. Okay, prove you're nice, she told Josh. Come over tomorrow and mow my lawn. Josh laughed. I have a better idea. Let's go back to the island and look for more money. Josh, we already did, and there wasn't any, Dink said. But we never found where the footprints ended, Josh argued. I'll bet if we do, we'll find buried treasure. What about the poison ivy? Ruth Rose reminded him. Josh scratched his neck. So what's a little poison ivy, he said. I'm going back to Squall Island tomorrow, and I'm bringing a shovel. He grinned at his friends. You coming with me, or do I keep the treasure all to myself? I hope you enjoyed your snack. Until tomorrow.